Yo, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Mostly Low Budget Movie Reviews. I am your host, Clarence. Thank you for tuning in. As the year winds down, we still have some big horror movies that are, still coming out. A couple of them this month, including today's movie, the latest and apparently final movie in the franchise, The Conjuring, Last Rites. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of this franchise, but it's always been just solid to me. Have been always super excited to see these movies, but I always watch all of them and, they're fine. Spawned multiple spinoffs, which, include Annabelle and The Nun. Again, both of those are solid as well, but, nothing groundbreaking. For me, these movies are kind of, I think they use something too much, and that's the jump scare. And, as my veterans know, I call them startle scares since you're really not scared. It's, more startled than anything by the loud noise accompanying the scary imagery. But, I'll give them credit. The images they put up there are pretty creepy, and while some of them are pretty much telegraphed, they do manage to get me at least once per movie with an unexpected one. So, does the franchise go out with a bang? What is this one about? Now, the story starts out in 1964 with Ed and Lorraine investigating a strange mirror. Lorraine happens to be pregnant at the time. Now, spoiler free, something happens, her water breaks, and, she has some issues delivering the baby. But it turns out okay. So we fast forward, we see them with their daughter. 20 years later, the Smurl family gets the same mirror and begin to be haunted in their home. They reach out to the church for help, but, haven't really gotten any kind of response. Now, Father Gordon goes to see Ed and Lorraine and tells them a little bit about the case, hoping they would help, but they're kind of semi-retired. Meanwhile, their daughter has always seen terrible visions ever since she was little, and it's getting worse. Spoiler free, there is a death, and that leads to the Smurl residence, and what's going on over there. And you know what? That's where I'm going to stop. From there, they decide to help and realize that there might be some connection with their daughter and why she's had these troubled visions. Can they help and save their daughter? So what did the pros think? Now, they came in at a lukewarm 55% on 138 reviews on the Rotten scale, with the audience liking it a bit more at 78% on over 100 ratings, which is, again, pretty solid. But what did I think? Well, let me start with these positives. Now, if this is indeed the last one, and based on how it ends, I can't see them doing another one. I think it was a nice send-off. We get quite a bit of background about Ed and Lorraine as people, their family dynamic, their feelings, and legacy, and history about their work up to a point. It felt more kind of like a family drama. More on that later. They do have some scary stuff happening here and there as we build up to, the house situation, and it's pretty solid. And, I will say the streak did continue. There were two situations where they got me pretty good. One time I knew it was coming, but they delayed it a few extra seconds and put the image in a place I didn't expect. Which is cool that they're still able to kind of keep me on my toes after all of these movies. But things really pick up once they get to the house and deal with the ghosts or demons or whatever's there. I think that was the strength of the movie and, what they do best. Things do come to a satisfying conclusion, and we get a glimpse into the future and what happens next for them and their family. And like I said, that was, pretty cool to see. Now, if you're a big fan, there's this montage at the end with pics and real footage of the, the actual real Warrens, which I thought, again, was a nice way to close things out. On the negative side, I do have to start with the length, and I'm a broken record in most of these reviews about this. This comes in at like 2 hours and 15 minutes or 20 minutes, somewhere in there. That's just way too long for this. Back to what I said earlier, this is kind of felt like a family drama for a good portion of the runtime. It's almost 90 minutes before they get to the house and start dealing with that situation. They spent way too much time on the background. Not that it wasn't interesting, because, I'm a dialogue-heavy guy. I love Tarantino, so dialogue is nothing. I'm fine with that. But, I was here for the horror. So the pacing here is just way off for in between, scares and the stuff that you actually came for. Again, the story is solid, but it's just more of the same with nothing you haven't seen before. No real wrinkles to that basic formula and setup. But again, I don't want to beat this one up too much. Let me bottom line this one for you. Did I enjoy it? And again, yes, I will say I enjoyed this. I think this was mostly, again, a nice way to end the series. I agree with the audience and put this somewhere right in the 74% range on the Rotten scale to stay consistent. I appreciate they wanted to give them all this history, show us all this stuff, leading up to that last case, but they really needed to tighten things up a bit. It's not that the runtime is padded or anything, because there is story there that they had to tell, or they wanted to tell, I should say, but it wasn't really needed to make this particular story work. Again, very good send-off for a beloved franchise that's made a ton of money worldwide. Again, I'm not the biggest fan, so, people that are real fans of this might like it more than I did, but I do respect what they did here. I feel comfortable recommending this for all horror fans. With that being said, I'll close it out right here. If this is your first time, don't make it your last. This has been a Podbean production, mostly low-budget movie reviews with Clarence. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in. Definitely go ahead and check out the YouTube channel. Low budget movie reviews with Clarence. All of these now upload over there. So even if you don't have streaming services for music or podcasts, definitely go ahead and, subscribe to the channel and check me out over there and listen to the podcast. I also have some other videos and shorter reviews that I do over there that you won't find here. So definitely, again, subscribe to everything. That way you can get the complete story. I am working on a few long-form videos. Going to start cranking out the content a little bit more now that I got my formula down. So, yeah, be on the lookout for everything I got coming. Again, thank you guys for all the support. I will see you guys next time. Peace.